lovely spooky friends that have joined us tonight for another episode of Storytime with the Scaryish podcast.
Woo!
Thank you. What is it, Lang Puma? For following?
Yeah, Lang Puma followed us 2 days ago, so thank you very much. And also run Lemonkins, who followed and subscribed us 6 days ago, so I'll run that notification as well. Just want to thank everyone who's joining us live at twitch.tv/Scaryish podcast and youtube.com/Scaryish. We appreciate every one of you folks, and we're going to be doing these Storytime episodes, so I'm pretty excited because we're going to be reading the homegrown horrors while Robin adjusts her chair. It's where it normally is. So
well, I was just like, why is this mic so high? It's like as tall as my face. So
nothing's been adjusted, so it just feels odd. But Robin,
Asians shrink as we grow.
Is that true? So week to week, you folks will watch Robin shrink until eventually she's as tiny as the doll that we have in the very front. For those of you watching live, you can see what she looks like. We did put up some shout outs on all the social medias that work, requesting some name suggestions for our new sacrificial doll that Ralph brought us from Mexico.
Yeah, it's weird though. Facebook and Instagram today have just been not working.
Instagram works with Facebook. I'm pretty sure they're they're integrated. But yeah, it's really scary having Facebook go down, because if you remember, Zuckerberg in that movie Social Network was like, you know the difference between us and everyone else? We don't crash ever. Well, guess what, dude? You crashed today. So
he doesn't own it anymore. So
Zuckerberg?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he still owns it.
Pretty sure he sold Facebook, didn't he?
No. Then why did he get called into Congress to get yelled at because old men don't know how to use their routers? Just saying. But yeah, March, whatever it is, the 13th, March 13th, 2019, Facebook crashed. I can't even mark myself safe in the Facebook crash of 2019 because Facebook's not working, so I can't mark myself safe.
My worry is that every time I try to do anything, like anything, whatever, it doesn't register me liking it. So some will register, some won't, and so I'm like, I don't want people to be like, oh, they don't like me, so they don't like me. And
my biggest concern was the fact we couldn't post anything. Like, we were going to post a thing for, hey, here's a picture of this doll, help us name it, and then the patrons are going to pick. And then we also couldn't post like, hey, don't forget to watch us tonight. So if our numbers are low, I personally blame Mark Zuckerberg. We got Zuckerberg, basically.
Wow.
We got zucked. We got zucked in the face.
My dick.
Wow.
Okay,
anyways, so Robin, what are homegrown horrors?
So homegrown horrors are the lovely paranormal / supernatural / spiritual, what have you, haunted stories, really cool family stories that are awesome, that you guys have graciously shared with us. And it's just kind of awesome to be able to read those back to you guys. So.
It really is. And if you're listening to any of these and it reminds you of something you heard or something that's happened to you, please feel free to reach out to us, and you can email storytime@scaryish.com. That's our email address. You can go to our website, which is scaryish.com, and click on Contact Us and fill out that form and send it directly to us. That works really well. And a lot of you have been doing that, and we appreciate it. If you would like to message us on Facebook, if it ever comes back up, facebook.com/Scaryish podcast. You can tweet at us at Scaryish Pod. You can Instagram message us at Scaryish Podcast. And then we have the other things like the Facebook group, which you can find by going to the Facebook page. And you can also join our Discord by going to our website and just clicking on the Discord link, and it'll jump you right in there. We're about to hit 200 there, so pretty excited about that. It's been a really fun time. We're doing 4 stories. That's the new format. We've talked about it before. I haven't had any feedback on what the stories are like, so cross my fingers, hope that they're decent. But they usually are. I don't think we've ever had stinkers or anything like that. We've had some stuff that made us speculate a little bit, but I trust you folks. So do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay, I will go first. So my first one of the evening is from Holly, and the subject is ghostly childhood. So this sounds like it's going to be good. And it starts out, hey, Aaron and Robin. Every time. It gets funnier every time. This one's even spelled Aaron, E-R-I-N, not even A-A. Not even matching a letter.
Aaron A. Aronson?
Not even matching a letter from my name. Then it says, LOL, JK, just kidding. Hey, Adam and Robin. Hello.
Hello.
I've been listening to your podcast for a while now, but I wanted to be completely caught up before I submitted my story so I wouldn't sound crazy or like I was making it up. So I grew up in England, and my house was built on what used to be dead land between a town and a mining plant. Basically, when the mining plant was being used, wives and children will often walk over this swampy area in order to take their husbands/fathers their lunch.
Aww.
To ruin something that sounds quite nice, quick shout out to ChessieCat98, who just resubscribed for the 6th month in a row using their Prime subscription. It says 6 months, woot, and then 3 or 4.
I hope
4
you're
hearts.
Surviving through that bomb cyclone storm thing.
Yeah, stay safe, everyone in that bomb cyclone.
Yeah.
So it's really windy down in Vegas, and the wind is cold, but that's about it. So we're feeling for the folks that are actually experiencing severe weather.
And snow and
indeed
horror.
And this is a good time to remind people, if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you have 5 free Amazon dollars to give away on twitch.tv, and you can give it to anyone you want once a month, and if you don't give it, Amazon gets to keep it. It's like your uncle giving you $5, then at the end of the month, if you didn't spend it, he comes back and takes it from you and hands you another 5.
Funny story. When I was younger and didn't know the value of money, my uncle was like, oh, hey, here's $5 or whatever. And I guess I used to have like a little box full of my little bills. And I was like, nah, I already have one of those.
Wow. That's hilarious. I'm collecting. I already got a 5. No big deal. That is so funny. That's good. But like I'm saying, Amazon Prime is that uncle trying to give you $5 you can give away once a month. So go to twitch.tv/Scaryish podcast. Give it to us. And it's really easy. You can go to twitch.tv, link your Amazon account in less than 60 seconds, and you get that free subscription. So Chessy Cat, thank you so much for using that. We appreciate it. And shout out to Scaryish, who is now following us.
Nice.
I really appreciate your name. So I'll go ahead and get back to this email now. So it says that they're on this land that basically got trampled a whole bunch, and it says, to ruin something that sounds quite nice, sometimes people would die there after they fell and drowned in the swamp. So
why would you use that to go around?
It does sound like hazardous terrain, but some people are like, nope, going the most direct route. It's like when you get home from the grocery store.
Have they never watched Neverending Story?
I haven't. So it's like when you get home. I mean, I've watched bits and pieces of it when I was a child, and I was like, this movie sucks.
Do you know why swamps are sad?
I mean, I've seen the scene with the horse, if that's what you're talking about, so I don't know.
Get out.
Anyways, it's like when you get home from the grocery store and you're like, I'm not making 2 trips to this trunk, and you strap every grocery bag to your arms and you get those deep grooves, those rings around your arms because you're carrying everything all at once. You're like, I could be in one of those strongman competitions if they just had grocery bags. So it's similar to that, but apparently people died walking on this swamp, so that sucks. It goes on to say, anyway, because you know that they know that we're going to have a side tangent. Anyway, basically because building companies give 0 shits about this kind of thing, there's now a whole estate built on top of this. All of the women in my family have always been more sensitive to spirits, but I remember from a young age always being really scared of the dark at the bottom of the stairs. I don't know why. But it was always just too dark at the bottom of the stairs. That's kind of creepy. We've had like the unnatural darkness story crop up a couple of times. Ralph told us a story on this past episode about darkness that seemed to keep like encroaching forward, which is just super terrifying. So the darkness at the bottom of these stairs is just too dark. Going back to the whole drowning and dying thing, every night it sounds like there was someone walking up to about halfway up the stairs, like they were trying to be quiet and just stopping multiple times in the night.
That's super creepy.
It is.
No.
I never used to go to the bathroom as soon as the lights were out, as I'd have to walk past the top of the stairs to go, and I'd rather pee myself than see something standing there. It's probably a good decision to make.
You'd probably pee yourself if you saw something standing there.
Really quick note, if you're on the second floor or first floor, it really doesn't matter, and you're too terrified to leave your room, pee out the window. So let's keep going.
Girls can't do that.
Oh, yeah, I always forget that guys have this convenient thing hanging off the front of us that allows us to project our urine. So I 100% being honest, I've totally peed out windows before. I'm sure I'll pee out a window again before I die.
You're a horrible person.
You know what hasn't happened to me? I haven't been dragged down the stairs by a demon. So just saying. Continuing on. One time was different, though, and the chances of me actually peeing myself had reached dangerously high, so I got out and peeked my head around the corner only to see a woman standing on my stairs.
Hold on. You're going to have to repeat that to me, because I'm too mind blown by the fact that you're disgusting.
How are you mind blown by that at this point? So this person was like to the point where they were actually going to pee themselves. They decided that they didn't want to be like me and pee out a window. So they got dressed and they were looking out their room to see if they could make it a clear shot to the bathroom. And at the stairs, they saw a woman standing on the stairs. She looked young and was an old-timey dress. And she looked at me and then disappeared into the darkness. That is super creepy.
That's super creepy.
I just held my pee, went back to my room.
I want to know. Like, how did it...
Did it vanish or did it just back up?
Or did it walk? Yeah.
It's way creepier if it walked.
If it walked.
And if it walked into the darkness being like, you merely adopted the darkness. I was born in it, molded by it.
Thank you for that.
I love
every episode of any podcast.
I love doing that voice. I don't know. When it first came out, I used to put my hand over Robin's mouth. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before, and like spread my fingers apart like the Bane mask. She'd be in the middle of sentences. I'd be like, boop. Like, you merely adopted the darkness. I'm pretty
No,
sure.
you said it doesn't matter who we are.
Yeah, that was the other one. What matters is our plan. Okay, so she didn't say that before receding into the darkness. They go on to say in the email, I just held my pee, went back to my room, and stayed up all fucking night with my headphones on.
I would too.
I would stay up all night. I don't know if I'd have my headphones on, because then you can't hear if something's creeping up on you.
But then you go under the blankets, you have your headphones on, you just hide. And you pretend that everything's kosher and that it's good and you're fine.
That's pretty good. I can see that. When I asked my mom about it the next day, she told me about where the house was built, in parentheses, hence why I know all the background stuff, and said she wouldn't hurt us. She just walks up and down the stairs each night, and my mom thought she must have died on the land our house was built on. That's so nice where your mom's like, yeah, I totally agree with you. That's happening, but it's a good ghost, even though it receded into the darkness all creepily. It goes on to say, another time, my grandma came over and I could hear her talking in the kitchen, even though I was sitting in the living room with my brothers and sisters. We were the only ones in the house with her. So I walked through to see what she was doing, expecting her to be talking to herself like old people do, LOL.
That's so fun.
But when I asked her, she said she was talking to my brother. When I told her he hadn't moved from the front room with me, she told me that no, he was just in here with her and wouldn't believe me until I looked into the room to ask him. So what's really creepy about that is one of you was hanging out with a ghost or a shapeshifter or a doppelganger or whatever.
Which is funny because we just watched that episode of Supernatural.
There's a lot of episodes of Supernatural.
Well, there's a lot of
Supernatural with the shapeshifters.
But we watched one last night in like season. What are we on?
11,
season 11.
The Valentine's Day Curse.
Yeah.
I will say season 11 is bringing me back to the show. I have just been talking so much shit about this show for like the last 3 seasons. So very happy with season 11 of Supernatural so far. You can tell they got new writers. I think I've mentioned this on the show already once before. So, okay. Kid peeked into their thing. He's like, no. He's right there. Whoever you were talking to is a demon. Goes on to say, so my mom came home from work and my grandma told her about it and she replied with, oh, you've seen him too.
What?
Obviously, I lost my shit. And from that point on, I always kept music up super loud when I was home alone so I wouldn't have to hear anyone walking around that wasn't supposed to be there. The moral of the story is my mom saw loads of shit and didn't tell any of us and liked it when we brought it up, as then she could talk about it with us. It's like, oh, you've seen it too. Now we can talk about it. That's so creepy. But feel bad for your mom. She was trying to protect you from these things. Then as soon as like you brought up to her that you've witnessed it, she like calmed you down like, it's okay, I've seen it too. Versus some parents who are like, no, you're full of crap, even if they have seen it too. So not a bad job of parenting. I have some more stories of my mom's going to a haunted castle and getting touched up by a ghost, but I'll leave that to another time. Thanks for reading my story. Not going to apologize for it being long because fuck you.
Wow.
That's perfect. Just kidding. Love you both. Keep on creeping on, Holly. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I really like how you ended that. Never apologize for your stories being long. We always appreciate it when they're long. So that was really good. What would you do if you saw a bunch of stuff in the house and you had kids? Would you tell them?
Burn them.
You would burn the kids?
No.
Wow.
I would probably just move. I know a lot of people say like you can't just up and move sometimes, but I would definitely, I don't know, find some safe haven of some sort.
Would you try staying away from the house for a little while before going back, or would you just like one bad experience and you're out?
I would hang out, a couple experiences.
I mean, I would
one little experience, like seeing that person. What?
I just thought of something. Keep going.
One experience, like seeing that person in the hall. Like, okay, send someone to go check. No one's like invaded.
Send your youngest. He's the newest to the family. He doesn't have any.
It would probably be you. But
wow, that's messed up.
Send them to check.
But the youngest one doesn't have any tenure in the family. Send him first.
No. Send you out there. Go check it out. See if no one's invaded. No one's like here to rob us, murder us, whatever. Fine, go back to sleep. If it keeps happening, then yes, it's like, okay, you need to leave.
And burn the house down.
Get a priest. I don't know. If I don't own the house, if I'm just renting, I'd be like, I'm fucking out of here. Yeah. I'm good.
If you own the house, get the priest, save the place, try everything you can.
Yeah,
then leave.
Renting, fuck it. If you own it, you're fucked. No.
That's funny. That's not bad. I like that. No, what I was thinking was when you said what you were saying is that maybe the reason Facebook has been down today, and I always tell people, like, go Facebook Live if something creepy happens, if something creepy was happening to someone out there. They went Facebook Live, and the ghost was like, I'm way too powerful for this shit, and just shut down Facebook. Like it just straight up broke everything. So shout out to whoever that was that broke Facebook. Hope you're still alive. So fun stuff.
All right. So this next one was actually submitted through our website, and which I think is really cool that people are actually using that cool little service that you set up. So if you guys go to Scaryish.com, we have a little submissions area, right? Contact us, and you guys can just type your stories or whatever you guys want to email us in there and press submit and we'll get it, which is awesome. This one is from May, and it's called Ghost Dating, which
it's gonna be May. Had to do it.
All
Every
right.
time I hear it.
And it goes, "Hey guys, since Valentine's..."
Hello. You didn't say hello back.
Hello.
There you go.
Since I was in the zone and you've taken me out of the zone. Now I'm like out of it.
Get back in the zone.
Since Valentine's Day is near, I want to share some romantic-ish but kind of scary story I personally experienced. You can share it on the podcast if you like. It happened around August 2017. My friends were pestering me to sign up for online dating and setting me up for blind dates because I'm becoming quite a spinster. 22 is not a spinster.
It's not at all.
She says, I'm only 22, so fuck them very much. I haven't really dated in college, so after graduating and having a job, I became so much busier to the point I never hang out with them sometimes. And to be honest, I'm not just up to meeting new people, but to shut their yammering, I relented. That's rough, where your friends are like pressuring you.
So annoying that you have to eventually start going out and doing dates. I can't stand that shit.
But like your friends shouldn't be the ones that are like, hey, you need to date. You need to date.
I think friends think it's their responsibility to try and help you find happiness or to get you out of your rut. But there's a really good joke by Jim Gaffigan. It's a really old stand-up that he did. He's actually from Chesterton, Indiana, which is right by where I grew up. But he talks about how he hates blind dates because your friends always set you up. And it's not just that they're setting you up with people whose personalities they think will match yours, and it shows you how they are not going to match up. But it also shows you which friends of theirs they're willing to set you up with based off the level of attractiveness they think you are. So it's like, hey, man, how'd you like Carol? It's like, hey, man, fuck you. It's my favorite joke of his. And it's like the only joke where he swears. I don't think that's because of it. But
Jim Gaffigan's the Hot Pockets guy, right?
He is the Hot Pockets guy.
Hot Pockets. I love this Korean drama called Oh My Venus. And there is a heavier character. Well, there's multiple heavy characters in it. But there's one who dates this who's best friends with this popular girl when they're in high school and stuff like that. And so they're super best friends and they do everything together. And I think they get into college or something together. And the popular one, tries to get her heavy friend to date someone. And they hook her up with like super nerdy, super geeky little scrawny dude. And
all you super nerdy, super geeky little scrawny dudes.
But it's just like the nerdy dude is like, I see what they're doing here. They're like setting me up with someone that they think is like they're treating her like shit. And so I just think friends that do that kind of stuff just don't do it, because you don't know how you're going to make your friends feel.
It's very true.
And it's just so rude. Watching that, I was just so pissed off at this show. Like, I love this show, but it's so sad and so...
I've been in groups of friends before where people are like, hey, this person's single and this person's single, and they might not match and they might not get along, but I'm just so sick of them like hanging out with us and being a third wheel, so we should make them date. You're guilty of that too. I've seen you try and do that. I'm not going to say with who, but you're like, this person just needs to date this person already. It's like, you can't just match people up based off the fact that they're both single. So just saying, don't do that, people. Like, take more consideration into it. Ask that person what they want. And then if they don't know what they want, then just throw anything out.
One of my friends suggested that I do the pen pal thing, but online, since I adore writing letters, and I present myself better through written communication. The friend of my friend gave me a list of email addresses of some guys. Among that list was this guy's email. I changed it for their privacy, but it was something similar. brokesugardaddy@blank.com. Whatever.
Right
Broke
on.
sugar daddy. What?
I'm glad it wasn't something super ridiculous like porn star big dick energy 69 at gmail.com.
I was setting up an account for my sister today for things, and I asked her what her preferred username was, and I messaged her like bitches at house 69. And she's just like, what? No.
That's funny. I've started when I was working at GameStop. I went through a bunch of stores, and at one point they had me being a manager for this new store. It was an interim thing, and the assistant manager was the only one who had access to the payroll and the things that I would need to approve. And they weren't in town. I had to take care of this. They weren't around, and they had not, of course, set up my permissions to that store. So I went in there, and it's like, access is denied. So I reached out to
log in using their password.
I reached out to my district manager. I'm like, what do I do now? Because like I can't log in with anything else, and he refused to give me any of his information. So he's like, reach out to the assistant manager, whom I had not met at the time, and ask her for information. So it was like her email address or whatever was her login, and then like her password involved. I think it was like ass and hips 6969. And she texted it to me. She's like, oh my God, are you serious? I was like, I can't approve payroll otherwise. She's like, please don't judge me. I swear I'll change this when I get back. And she sent it to me, and I just never said anything about it because, like, how do you say anything? It's like, you don't expect to give your password out to someone, but in a professional setting, should probably be something different than that.
I've had to have my coworker approve my time card multiple times, and my password is like...
Really? You're going to give this out on the air?
No. It's just weird. It's not inappropriate, but it's dark.
It's dark?
It's like...
Dead babies, 420.
No,
Blaze it up, motherfuckers.
No, but it's just...
All interchangeable caps for all those letters, too.
It's just like something that I'm embarrassed about. And so it's like, thank you for not bringing it up at all. Anyway, continuing on. This email, brokesugardaddy@whatever.com, made me think that this guy seemed like an interesting person, so I sent him an email. The next day, he responded with the opening statement, ice, ice, baby, this dude is not really crazy, and please don't freak out, but my name is Julian, so peace out.
Wow. It's affected Robin. For those of you listening through the audio medium, she's leaning back in her chair.
What? I want to know how long it took for them to type everything out, delete, maybe that doesn't work, retype, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. Sometimes people come up with really good lines. I saw something on Facebook where it's like best ways guys have ever slid into someone's DMs. Mm-hmm. And one person sent a picture of a dog like running up to someone, and they messaged back like, what the hell? It's like, sorry he got off the leash, but since I'm here anyways, how you doing? I was like, that's pretty good. Like, I appreciate that one. So sometimes if you do something that's not raunchy, not dirty humor, just clever and funny.
Yes.
And if you use that as an icebreaker and someone's like, why, like still pissed off at you, then it's probably a good indication that your sense of humors are not going to match up whatsoever. So when I see those, I'm like, it
needs to be funny.
Yeah, it's a really good indicator of whether or not, like, one, they're available, or two, like, you guys are compatible. So, all right, keep going.
It was safe to say that we started emailing each other. Julian's obviously not his real name. It was kind of weird talking to a person you've never met almost every day with just knowing their first name, age, zodiac sign, height, and how much we're attached to our phones. We've
all realized that today during the great Facebook crash of how addicted we are to our phones.
This is like How to Catch a Predator.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, did you ever watch that show?
No, I did not.
Where it's just chat rooms where you don't know what this person looks like, or like catfishing, that kind of stuff. Like,
I never watched the show. No. I am familiar with the premises of How to Catch a Predator, though.
I would be so scared of not knowing who this person was, and we're just talking and telling each other about our lives, but not actually knowing who they were.
I think a lot of people have done that in one way or another. You know what I mean? Without being face to face, especially with like technology nowadays. Like, I had friends that like had like World of Warcraft girlfriends, stuff like that, where they never met in person, and eventually you like reveal what you look like to the other person.
I had a really good friend in middle school. No, it was high school. I had a really good friend in high school, and he lived in California somewhere. I don't even remember. And I lived in Hawaii, and we were really good friends. We played like MapleStory together and everything. And we were friends for a really, really, really long time. And then I moved away from Hawaii when he went to go visit Hawaii. So he hung out with all my friends in Hawaii. And I was just sitting there looking at all these pictures like, well, fuck me, I guess.
I guess not, actually.
Poor
dude.
But I don't do that very often. I don't meet people and create really huge relationships until this podcast, where we've made all these friends. And you guys are freaking awesome.
Should we make an announcement in the middle of this tangent, or should we wait till the email's over to make the
announcement?
announcement?
Wait till the end of the email, because
we have a big announcement for everyone tonight.
Anyway, Where
Da, 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 da.
He was a really fun person to talk to, so I didn't really mind. Fast forward to November, and he asked me if we could meet up. I was kind of hesitant, which is smart, because I kind of formed an image in my head about how he looked. Oh, so you guys didn't like share pictures or anything. I know it seems shallow, but I couldn't help but think about it. And also, I didn't want to disappoint him of whatever image that he had conjured about me. Nevertheless, I agreed because if he turned out to be an asshole, I'd gladly get rid of him. We set up a date sometime after Christmas. A few days later, I realized that we hadn't talked about where we'd meet, so I emailed him. December came and he hadn't responded to my email. Since we converse around 3 to 4 times a week, it was kind of unusual that he hadn't responded for over a week. I didn't think much about it at first because he might be busy from work. December 16th came and I still received no response. I was about to ask my friend about him when I received an email from Julian apologizing that he was really sick and so he wasn't able to respond. I asked him if he was okay. He said he was fully recovered and he really missed our conversations. And, and little asterisk is like blushes.
Aw, that's adorable.
We talked every day after that until December 22nd, and on December 26th, my friend went to my house. She looked at me somberly and said that Julian passed away last December.
Wow.
Due to cancer. That is so depressing. I first thought that she was joking, so I got really mad, stood up and told her that I'm going to slap her.
Wow.
For saying such an awful thing, but she looked serious. I grabbed my phone and showed her the email we exchanged starting from December 16th. I asked her if someone was messing with me via Julian's phone, but she said that it was impossible because after he died, they kept his phone with him. Blood drained from my face and my legs gave way. The next day, on December 27th, the date we were supposed to meet, I went to Julian's grave.
Wow,
Why?
this is super sad.
It's been over a year since everything happened, and I was still a little dazed about everything. I admit that I'm still a little afraid because he was emailing me from the other side. I'm not really a believer of paranormal and still am, but my experience with Julian made me realize that there are things that go beyond the normality of things, and that there are things none of our rational minds can comprehend. Lastly, I want to tell you that I never shared this with anyone except my friend who gave me Julian's email. That friend was Florence, the Aswan girl.
Wow. Well, thank you for combining those.
Yeah, that's
It's nice to know that our listeners know each other.
She told me about your podcast, and I've been listening since July, and the way you handle and deliver the stories convinced me to send you this. I love this podcast, and keep on creeping on May. Thank you so much for sharing your story. That is super duper depressing.
Yeah.
And that is just absolutely crazy.
Yeah, thank you, May, for sending that. We appreciate you being courageous enough to share that with us. And thank you, Florence, for letting them know about the podcast. They were able to find an outlet that they could send this to. And Ralph said it to us, I think, on Monday, or I think Sunday, actually, is when we recorded. And he said that he really enjoys the fact that we have the forum here, and he gave us some of the credit for it. And honestly, it's not really us. It's the audience that have built up around us that are very widely accepting of each other, and even stuff that they might not believe. They all take everything with a grain of salt and treat each other with respect. So it's nice to know that there's this outlet for folks that if they want to share stuff with us. I've had friends in my life since I was 7 years old start listening to this podcast and send me a story that they've never told me to my face before. So it's like they feel comfortable sharing it, and it's been really an interesting experience to see when you have a forum where people don't feel judged and people feel safe what they'll share with you. And I really appreciate every single one of you that do that. I really do. So awesome. It's really creepy. Maybe there was someone who had the password, just going from the skeptic side, that was like, I don't know how to tell this person that they passed away, so I guess I'll just keep this conversation going. But I don't know. I mean, if they had the phone and they didn't have any of the information on how to unlock it, it's just hard to tell how that would happen. But cool.
Yeah.
So before we go on any further, we do have an announcement to make. Now, like we had said previously, if any of you have checked out our Patreon, if we got to 50 patrons, we were going to go to the Winchester Mystery House.
Which in retrospect was not enough.
50 may have been a bit low. But that said, we hit 50 at the end of January. We've been planning on how we're going to get out there. We basically had to wait for the payout from Patreon from January and February to get the funds so that we could book the trip. But we are going to be traveling out there, and June 9th, 2019
is the day we're going to do the tour.
It is a Sunday. So here's the thing.
Sunday.
Here's a very important thing for all the folks to know that are interested in going. If you go to the Winchester Mystery House website, you can purchase tickets, but you can only purchase tickets to that place in advance by 2 months. So if you go there right now, you can only buy for March and April. May tickets aren't even available yet, and June tickets will not be available for another month. So once April hits, All of April and all of May will be available, and once May hits, that's when June is going to open up. And since it's going to be June 9th, Sunday, June 9th, we're going to be repeating this pretty much every episode up until we can buy those tickets. I would really appreciate it. I'm going to set something up on the website or in one of our social medias. We will let you know via social media where you folks can go and post and say, I'm really interested. I'm 100% sure I'm going. So we can get an idea of how many folks are going to go there, because there is a limit to how many people can go through at the same time. And if we go over that limit, I've reached out to Winchester Mansion. They actually deal with private parties, but it has to be a certain amount of folks. So if there's going to be enough, then I can work with them and see what we can do. If we're not going to go over that number, no big deal. We're all just going to coordinate and get our tickets, and it'll be perfect. And we can all hang out and go through the Winchester Mystery House. Side note, this isn't really a spoiler. It's gorgeous.
It is very pretty.
Going through that website and seeing all the different things that you can book. People book weddings there. I know it might be a creepy, possibly mysteriously haunted place, but while being that, it is very well kept and it is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm very excited to go. It's going to be really fun to meet you folks and see some of the faces that we've seen before again. So June 9th is going to be the day. We hope you folks will join us. We sincerely do. I would much rather have the problem of we have too many people, I need to make an accommodation with Winchester, than it's just going to be me and Robin and Robin's sister.
It'll be really sad if it's just the three of us, but
we'll make the best of it.
We will make the best of it.
The only other concern I have,
I want to know what good food is, what good food there is to eat
around town.
Around there.
Yeah.
So any of y'all that live in San Jose and surrounding area, let us know what we should go and eat, because we won't have a car.
my only other concern about doing this is that June 9th is around a little bit under 3 months away. So I seriously doubt anything crazy will happen where it will shut down or it'll be sucked into another dimension through a pinhole in the fabric of time, just like at the end of Poltergeist. Wow. But if that happens, I'm pretty sure our tickets are non-refundable. So we're going to be there one way or the other. So let's all cross our fingers and hope that the Winchester Mansion is still there come June 9th so we can all attend and have a fun time.
Yeah.
I'm going to move into my second and final email of the show. And this one's subject is, I dreamt of you two and it got freaky, winky face, but in a bad, scary way, winky, sad face. So we'll see how this goes, and let's hope it doesn't get too creepy. I feel like I would have known about it if it got too creepy because my mom was the one who edited this. And it starts out like this. Aloha, Robin and Adam.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Ohana means family, not that other thing you thought it meant.
I think I said Ohana means home to mess with Robin. She got really mad. And then after that, we have a place out here called Ohana Hawaiian Barbecue. I was like, Ohana means chicken katsu curry. I think it was live on the air, in fact, that I did that. So they all know that already. Anyways, the email continues on.
Dishonor
and by
on
continues
you.
on, I mean its first sentence is, it's Joe from the Big Island, she/her. I sent you the story a week or so ago. I thought the name sounded familiar. If you haven't read it yet, fuck you. LOL JK.
Why does everyone keep telling us to fuck ourselves?
I don't know, but it's funny to me.
Oh
LOL JK. I'm on like episode 32 and I'm trying to catch up so bad. LMFAO. I hate how behind I am. Don't ever worry about it. I'm writing again because I binged your podcast for 12 hours straight yesterday because it was a holiday and I shouldn't have done that because I had a spooky dream and you guys were in it. I don't know what you guys look like, but I dreamt of an image. They do now because I'm pretty sure they joined us the last email they sent when we read it.
Nice.
Because I send these things out and I'm like, hey, y'all, like we're reading your email live tonight. Come join us. Okay, so they know now. So don't know what you are. I dreamt of an image who I thought you guys were, and this is how it went. You guys were on vacation and decided to go visit some haunted houses. Robin was ecstatic for some reason, and Adam was like,
I like that it's like, for
I don't know
some
about
reason.
this. Well, it's because that's transposed.
Yeah.
You'd be the person that wouldn't want to do it, and I would be like ecstatic. You guys went to this street I've never seen before into a house I've never been in. There was no one in this house, but it's common knowledge that this house is scary as fuck. It was dark and windy, and you guys didn't have anything with you, just yourselves and your lively enthusiasm for the unknown. Then it says A/N. I don't know what that means. It's A/N:. So I think it's just like side note. Most of my dreams look like movies, aka I'm watching characters as if through a camera and watching them move through rooms / scenes like how it is in movies. It's very rare I have dreams without me or some version of me in it. So this is a very strange dream. Also, I feel creepy for dreaming about you guys. LMFAO. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Dream of me more.
Wow. There you go. So anyway, you guys were in a corner of the dark house and were waiting for something to happen. Well, you asked for it. Suddenly, things inside the house were moving, and I think it was Adam said, like, quote, "What the fuck? This is it?" And then things were creaking and the curtains started moving and doors opening and closing, and for some reason there was a baby guillotine, as in tiny and small, in the corner, and it started moving up and down so the ghost could let you know it was there.
I would love to have a tiny little guillotine for the little desk.
That would be pretty cool.
I would love it so much.
I would chop vegetables with it.
Dude,
very, very slowly, but I would.
How amazing would that be? Oh, man. I need one.
Continuing on. After I woke up, I was like, why was there a guillotine in that house? I'm so sorry. So Adam was freaked out, and Robin was like, excited emoji. And she suggested to go into the next house, which was also very haunted. The neighboring house was lived in, and I think the owner rented it out as a spooky Airbnb because she wasn't surprised when you guys went into her house without an invitation. So it was straight up breaking and entering. Like when you're playing a video game and you just go into someone's house looking for items, and if that was real, you'd just be stealing that person's shit.
Whenever I play Pokemon or Animal Crossing, that's how I feel. Whenever I enter people's houses, I'm just like, oh, random town I've never been to before. I'm just going to go into your house.
Look at all this gold.
And then these people don't freak out. They're just like, oh, hi, you're in my home. Let me tell you these things about my personal
While
self.
you steal my stuff.
Weird.
Continuing on. Once you entered, she let you know the, quote, rules of the spookiness, and Robin went straight to the basement, LOL. So now we know it's certainly a dream because that would never happen in real life.
Never happen. My older sister has a basement. We've talked about that.
She refused to go in it.
And I didn't go in it. Adam had to do the laundry. He went in it, but I refused to go in it.
So, good to know. I had a feeling, in parentheses, me as the omniscient being watching you fools explore, that this house was much scarier than the last house. There was a bunch of stuff around the basement, like pillows and fluffy things, to make the basement look much fuller than it was. All the lights were on, even down the stairs, which was good, but once you two entered the basement, all outside noise stopped. It was so devoid of noise that you could feel the air around you. Adam was like, no, I want to nope the F out of here, please. But Robin paid his begging no mind. I like how different our personalities
is. This is like that episode of...
Just waiting for Buffy or Supernatural.
Doctor Who. Well, the first one where he meets grown-up Amy Pond, and all the mental projections from that one prisoner that escaped is all swapped.
Right.
That's what it reminds me of.
Shout out to Amelia Pond, a.k.a. Karen Gillan.
Karen Gillan.
She's so hot. She's incredibly talented, too.
He wants you to hit him up.
I don't want to objectify you based off of your looks because she is incredibly talented. And she actually shaved her head to be Nebula.
Yes.
And she was only supposed to have like 6 minutes of screen time in Guardians of the Galaxy, and she shaved it anyways because that's the kind of actor she is.
Yeah.
I also think that that's incredibly hot. So it's just something that I respect the shit out of you, and I think you're gorgeous. So I'm going to keep going. Did you know
Matt Smith is going to be Charles Manson?
I did not know that.
There's a new...
in a movie. I thought you meant he's just like crazy now.
There's a new movie called Charlie Says that's coming out. It's Matt Smith's going to be Charles Manson. I'm so excited because I love Matt Smith, and I hope it's going to be good.
Cool. What's funny is I don't know why. I mean, I know why because we talked about Aladdin, but I have Mr. Aladdin Sir stuck in my head. So like you're saying Charlie Manson, and I'm thinking of like how that movie would work with Matt Smith murdering people or whatever, or convincing people to murder people.
Charles Manson never murdered anyone.
And I'm like, so maybe when he convinced people, he was singing them songs like Genie sang to Aladdin.
He sang folk music.
I know that he was a musician.
He was a musician.
Didn't wind up going through, so it wound up taking a very different path.
Yep.
So, all right, I'm going to get back to this email. We're in this basement, okay? The basement was fairly small, like it was a single room. Oddly, there was a metal chute like the ones rich people put their dirty towels down in expensive hotels to go down to the laundry room.
Except this one was for bodies.
Anyway, Robin got inside, and Adam was like, bitch, what the fuck? Where are you going, bro? Which is exactly what I would say if she crawled into a dumbwaiter or a laundry chute.
Oh, my God.
But down the chute she went, and Adam was like, fuck, okay. It was as if Robin was chasing something unseen, or in Adam's case, something was chasing them. Because the basement was so small, I like that this is just like a short story of crazy shit that we did in your dream. The basement was so small, the air felt thick, no air circulation, no life, nothing. That was the moment I started, quote, feeling my body as if I knew I was dreaming. I wasn't quite lucid dreaming yet, but my subconscious was getting scared finally. When you guys entered the chute, time warped somehow, and you ended up at the entrance of the house, and the owner was there. It was like a time loop, and she went on to explain the rules of the Airbnb like she did in the beginning. Things were getting increasingly scary, and my physical body was starting to freeze, but I was becoming more aware. Nothing else happened in the dream, just the intensified horror of being in a basement and watching two people continue a loop and not knowing if there was going to be something different this next time around, or if someone/something would pop up and scare the shit out of me. So finally,
I would be scared in the dream too.
I hate it when I get into time loops,
scared.
because then I'm like, usually when I get into a time loop, I've done something successfully and I try and replicate what I did before so I don't screw anything up, and it's usually something scary. Getting back to the email. So finally, I woke up and guessed it was around 5 a.m., which meant I had 2 more hours to sleep before work. So I brushed off the weird, scary dream of you guys and dozed off again. When I woke up, I remembered it clearly and thought you would get a kick out of knowing you guys infiltrated my dream after one of my weekend binges. Hope you enjoyed. I'll write again soon. P.S. You guys are my favorite podcast.
Aww.
I love you. Mahalo, Joe.
Thank you so much, Joe.
That was really good.
That is really good. Swallows was saying, like, sounds like Robin's clearly possessed.
That's hilarious.
And makes absolute sense.
I will say that if we were caught in a situation where Robin decided that she was going to be like the lead in a scary place,
absolutely
I
wrong.
would immediately be like, something is wrong. She's a doppelganger, or she has something possessing her right now. I wouldn't be like, oh, look, she's like being really brave. I'd be like, no. This person, whoever is imitating her or has possessed her, obviously has no idea what her character traits are, because she would nope the F out of those scary situations before literally anyone else.
All right, so I'm going to go into my next email here.
Last email of the show. Give us a juicy transition.
This email is going to be the last one we read for the night. It is from Turner. So this one's from Turner, and it goes, hey, guys.
Hello.
Hey. It's Turner again. Sorry it took me so long to get back with you guys. I think you read my email back in Storytime 27 or something. But I've been getting ready and going to my first year of college. Congrats. That's always a very big step,
Good
getting
luck.
into college. Shout out to Central Michigan University. Fire up Chips.
That's awesome.
What's that?
That's
Do you
probably
know?
the mascot
Oh.
for that exact university.
All right.
That would be my guess.
But I just figure you know everything about NCAA. But last time I emailed you, I talked about the most haunted road in mid-Michigan, and you wanted extra info on some of the happenings on that road.
I do remember
so
this.
you can read this on the podcast. I'm here to provide that, as well as more emails to come soon. Quick preview. The time I threatened a ghost that I was going to prison shank it attempting to marry a different ghost to spite my best friend and being chased by a ghost car. All right.
Pretty good stuff.
So to start off, I talked about the general store full of ghosts that an older couple lived in. Turns out that there was a small-time documentary about the road, and it was disclosed to the couple that there were ghosts, but they only had one instance of paranormal activity. One of the ghosts knocked over a bookcase and broke some heirlooms or something of that nature because of it. This caused the wife to get super pissed, and she chewed out the ghost, and they haven't had any other happenings since.
That ghost is probably like so embarrassed, like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then I got yelled at, and it's like, I'm sorry. I'll just go hide forever.
Next, I talked about the ghost of a young woman who haunts a graveyard on the road. This stuff is the real deal because the activity was investigated by parapsychologists, the local police, and the FBI. FBI, solid work. Alongside the poltergeist happenings and the general store haunting. Some history about her is her name is Anna Rhodes. Her name is Anna Rhodes.
Anna Rhodes. Got it.
She was originally from around the 1800s. She moved to Saginaw after she was orphaned by her father going mad and burning down the family home.
As one would do.
And her being the only survivor when she was 5. That's so crappy and unlucky. At this time, Saginaw area settlers were having some tendencies to brutally murder the Native Americans. Jeebus.
This is a pretty intense backstory, I'm not going to lie.
Which were the Sauks. S-A-U-K-S. That's the tribe of the area. But Anna lived next to a tribe, and she was basically raised by one of the tribe mothers, Singing Sparrow, and was childhood friends with the son of the tribe mother, Darkhawk. Okay, it's D-A-R-K, Cha, or Darkhawk. So at 14, she fell in love with a lumber trader of the area, John Millerton. Lumber trader, Millerton, lumber mill.
Got it, yeah.
Ha!
It's like Hot Fuzz, where everyone's last name in that movie has something to do with what their job is or like what their secrets are hiding.
It's
she didn't realize that until I pointed. It's like the bartender's name is Porter. Have you noticed that? And like the shop owner's name is Merchant. She's like, what?
Yeah. I
always feel so smart when I get
had to point out, though, his name's Sergeant Angel. and his officer number is 777.
Didn't notice.
I was just like, what? Oh man,
very heavy-handed, but it's so heavy-handed with the symbolism that it's just funny.
It's so good. Hot Fuzz.
That whole movie is just like, it's like a parody that's not a parody of like the whole cop genre.
Hot Fuzz is one of the movies that I will watch over and over and over again. Same with Constantine. Anyway, so she fell in love with this lumber trader named John Millerton, which made Darkhawk upset because all their lives he has protected her, not the lumber trader. And he was upset because the entire tribe expected her to honor his commitment to her by giving her hand in marriage when she was of age. So he turned into a jelly monster.
He turned into a jelly monster. He got friend zoned. And he didn't appreciate it, and that's on him. So let's see what happens. I'm sure it's going to be something like super nice where he's like, you know what, I wish you the best, right?
This is definitely no friends to lovers romance book because I've been reading a whole lot of those.
She really has been.
Anna and John were pledged to be married, but this was the time when what the cool kids would say, shit hit the fan. John was sent on maritime trade of lumber for a while, and at this same time, Darkhawk's tribe was found by loggers. Man, dude, these lumber people are douchebags, and all the women and warriors were murdered. Anna was the first to see with her own eyes Singing Sparrow raped and killed.
Jesus Christ.
This is like mind-blowing.
I'm like, audio medium. She just pantomimed her head exploding.
Before Darkhawk returned home from a hunt with the tribe's hunting party. Months pass and Anna gets word that John's boat sank and he was dead, and she went into a deep depression.
Shout out to Kat Beatrix, who just subscribed on Amazon Prime.
Thank you so much.
Or on Twitch with their Amazon Prime subscription.
This entire time, Darkhawk has a growing hatred for the white settlers of the area and decides to take out his anger on the whites, and guess who's the closest white person?
That sucks.
Anna. So for the next summer, Darkhawk watches Anna sleep, then began to harass her, and in the end, sexually harassed her, did all this stupid, gross stuff, which is
Are you like paraphrasing stuff that you're
paraphrasing
reading because you don't want to read it out loud?
I don't want to read it out loud.
Okay.
Which all of this was documented in a journal only recently found within the walls of the graveyard shed. And I was able to get an excerpt from the journal. October 8th, 1829. Jonathan, my love, I care for him not. You must believe that yours are the lips I crave. I fear that I
like
can...
your journal voice. That's just really weird to hear come out of you.
Why?
It's just I've never heard that voice come out of you. I've known you for like 7 years.
I fear that I can no longer tame Darkhawk's pursuit. He waits for me, veiled by the darkness of night. He comes for me while you're away, my love. I'm ashamed for what has been done, my sorrow great. I cried for you, but you did not wake from your sleep. Oh, because he's dead. I beg your forgiveness, my love, and know you will come save me. I wait for you to wake. That's
quick
super
shout out
depressing.
To anyone who writes those, like, I won't say trashy, maybe trite romance novels for like Amazon or Kindle or whatever it is. If you're looking for someone to do your voice or to do the voice for your book, maybe for like Audible,
read for Audible.
I think Robin just auditioned. So
I seriously will read for Audible. If you guys want me to read your books, I will freaking
She
do
actually
it.
reads them too. So
yes, I actually read them, and because I am kind of a dick, when I read these books on my Kindle, I will literally make notes of all the grammatical errors. So if you want an editor, I do that too. Just saying. I would love to get into the lit industry, but cool. I don't want a degree in literature. I just want to be able to edit and read. That would be great. Soon after, going back to this email, soon after all this happened, Anna hung herself in that graveyard shed where the journal was found, and now she walks around the graveyard at night not knowing that she's been dead for 200 years, waiting for her love to return home. By the way, the graveyard was built over a Native American burial ground, so there's a feeling of sadness and evil when you enter it at night. Now, to my personal quick encounter with Anna, I was in the graveyard with a couple of friends. I was about 16 or 17 at the time, and we were looking for the ghost that's supposedly there. At this time, I had none of this info that I put above. I thought it was all fake, up until the point when she walked right in front of us. And as soon as we saw her, we hid the best we could behind some gravestones. My friends ran immediately, but for some reason I stayed because there was a very strong thought of, you're okay, you're safe, please stand up.
Did she ask you if you want to build a snowman? Because the answer is always no if it's a ghost. Just saying.
So I did. I stood up and I saw her facing toward the woods. She had this reddish blue aura or glow around her, and she was really pretty for, a ghost.
Wow.
The stuff that happened next is the reason I now believe in the paranormal. Without me thinking about it, I opened my mouth and said, Anna? And let me remind you, at this time, I didn't know her name, but somehow I got it on the first try without thinking about it. The ghost turned around, and not out loud, but in my head, I hear, hello, who are you? I could feel her staring at me, but I felt really comforted, even though the feeling of evil felt like it was growing behind me. I said my name's Turner, and she said nothing, but then she vanished, and the feeling of evil grew super fast, and the last thing I heard her say was go. And I got chills. And I ran out the entrance to my friends, who later told me that they saw me stand up, but they didn't hear me talk or saw my lips move, and they had their eyes on me ever since I didn't run away with them. They thought I got possessed or something. But I really felt a connection to Anna after that, so I learned as much as I could about her, to the point I learned she has no living relatives, so she's all alone with only weird teenage skeptics to visit her.
That's so sad.
That is really sad. So I made an effort to go back, and in time I found her grave, and ever since I visit her and lay flowers on the grave and outside the old shed, which is still there, where she killed herself, and talk to her about stuff that's happened since she died for an hour or so.
That's very sweet.
Sometimes I'll bring a candle or a Bible, which I get the feeling she really liked, but every time I went, I felt more comfort than I have ever experienced in my life. And that's all the info I got about the road. Sorry for the long email, but I want to make sure I didn't leave anything out. Thanks for reading my email. Keep on creeping on, Turner. Thank you so much. That is a lot of research.
It
for
is.
one.
Good work.
And that's such a crazy experience.
It really is, especially when you have your friends that are there with you and they tell you like they saw you, but they like didn't see you do the things that you experienced doing. So super, super bizarre and actually really, really creepy. But at the same time, you definitely do feel bad for this like supposed ghost and like the things that they have to go through. And just the idea that you could be stuck somewhere in one place, like repeating just like the same sad action for 200 years. Like, that is so long. Like, I don't want to bring it back to Doctor Who again, but there's an episode with Peter Capaldi where you find out he's been, like, repeating the same actions over and over and over again for billions of years so he could, like, wear down the wall between him and the TARDIS by punching it once or twice before he dies and then starts the loop over again. Do you remember that episode?
Yes.
Where it's like you find out he's...
that big, like, glass-looking wall.
That annoyed me. I really liked the idea behind it that basically you chop down a mountain with one swing at a time, but at the same time, it's like... So the doctor, like, his age was, like, 900 for a little while, then 1100, then, like, 1200, and now he's, like, 10 billion years old.
Yeah.
So I'm just
because
like...
he ended up in that tower?
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know if I like that. I like the idea behind it, but I don't know. So, yeah, that's what I thought of when he was talking about just this ghost that was stuck here for so long.
Yeah.
So maybe at some point... I mean, when you watch Supernatural as often as we do, it's just like, can't someone set her free? But, I don't know.
Burn her bones.
It's a good story.
You gotta salt and burn them, right?
Yeah, salt, then burn.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone who hung out with us tonight and listened to these awesome stories that were sent to us and played marbles with us. We're so glad that you are all in our community, and hopefully you guys join us next week. Every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. for the coming times.
Pacific Standard Time.
Pacific Standard Time, yes. Some people have gotten the times mixed up, but it's Pacific Standard Time. PEST.
Did you stop to wonder if you said Pacific correctly? I do it literally every time I say it.
Don't forget, we're going to go to the Winchester House.
Winchester Mystery House, June 9th, 2019. It's a Sunday, folks.
I wonder if we should we record an episode while we're in San Jose?
I don't know about that. I think we should record some stuff while we're in San Jose. I don't know if we should record an episode because I don't know where we could record or how I'm going to transfer all of this equipment.
At our Airbnb. Just record
I don't know how I'm going to transfer all of this equipment and get that through like 4 different airports because we're connecting a few times.
Well, I was just thinking like because my sister's bringing her camera, we can just do like that kind of episode.
We'll record content for sure. I don't know if it's going to be an episode or if we're going to take the content because we're not going to get home till I think late Monday. So there's no way I'll be able to get it edited and put up there. We'll figure something out.
It'll be extra content for sure because my sister, the awesome videographer, is going to come with us and be our camera person for the weekend. So if you would love to help support us because all your support's absolutely amazing, please go to patreon.com/Scaryish podcast. That's monthly donations, and there are tiers starting at $1. You get bonus content that I promise we are working on. And
you get early access to absolutely everything we put up as well.
Which little audio tidbits.
We're getting a lot earlier with our early access. Story times are always at least 24 hours early. We almost always get those out a day early. Topic episodes a little bit shorter of earliness, but as long as we record on Sundays, which we're doing more often now, you get early time with that too. So it's pretty good stuff.
And there are physical tier rewards as well. I'm sending out the spring things once the stickers come in. I've ordered them. And they look super cute. At least the design I made was super cute. I don't know. Hopefully the stickers come out really good. Then I'll make all the magnets, package them all up, mail them all out, and hopefully you guys like them. Each season we have a different design that I make and hand make the buttons and stuff. I literally sit there with my little tiny button press and make everything.
We've had a few people upgrade their Patreon tier because they wanted to get into the spot where they would be able to receive that. And you can do that if you're already a patron. You're at the $1 or $3 level and you want to receive that. You can just upgrade to a $10 level for a month, and you will receive that. And that's totally okay to do. We encourage it, in fact. If you folks want to send us your homegrown horrors, you can reach out to our email address, which is storytime@scaryish.com. You can also go to our website, scaryish.com. And click on Contact Us, fill out that form, send it to us. You can do a bunch of different ways. What's up, Robin?
All our shops and stuff are also on there.
I was going to do the shop plug a little bit later and not like slap dab. I don't know if that's actually a phrase.
Well, smack
dab in the middle of where you can reach out to us. But okay, since we're already here, if you're at scaryish.com, click on store. It is a compiled place that has all of the products across all of our stores that will take you exactly where you need to go to purchase it. And you can check out like size options, coloring options, all that fun stuff. And there's a lot of products that we have up there. Big shout out to Robin for getting almost every single item put into our stores across all the things. I think I did a couple mugs.
Miss Deezy's all sneaky, not giving me her mailing address. Just saying.
Don't know where that came from.
It's just because, like, I can't mail her anything for the material stuff.
For the Patreon tier.
Yes.
Right on. That's another thing. Anyways, going back to the plugs for how you can reach out to us, you can Facebook message us if it ever gets back up and running. Facebook.com/ScarishPodcast. Tweet at us at ScarishPod. Instagram at ScarishPodcast. Join our community, our fun stuff. Scarish Spooky Friends group is on Facebook. Go to Facebook.com/ScarishPodcast. You'll find it. And you can also go to Scarish.com if you want to join our Discord. It's on the right-hand side. Just scroll down. There's like a million social media links for all of our stuff. Click on the Discord one. It'll take you right in there, and we'll welcome you. You're probably going to get a weird message like, welcome to the corn, because of that corn joke that just never seems to die. But don't worry. We're one's really weird. We're
children of the corn.
We have a lot of channels in there. We have a Game of Thrones one that
We have Game of Thrones. The Haunting at Hill House. We have
a place for you
Disney.
to drop your homegrown horrors. We have not so spooky memes where you can just post funny memes. You have Dad Joke Corner. Dad Joke Corner is so damn funny. I love it. It makes me laugh literally every single day. So join us. We appreciate every single one of you that listens, watches, donates, whatever the case may be. If you're part of this community, we appreciate all of you. We really, really do. So thank you, because you make it worth doing this 100%.
Yep.
And I think that's just about everything that we have.
Yeah. Keep on creeping on, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.